And thanks so much for joining us again today at the Optum Care Community Centers. It's Ben Brock, and we have another throwback exercise session for you today. Today, Chloe is going to take us through a Pilates class. And for today's class, all you need is a dish towel and a chair. So go ahead and grab those items and we'll meet you right back here for a great Pilates workout. Before engaging in this program, make sure you are in good physical condition and do not suffer from any known disability or condition which would prevent or limit your participation in this exercise program. An examination by a physician should be obtained by anyone prior to commencing a fitness and/or exercise program, or initiating a substantial change in the amount of regular physical activity performed. If you choose not to obtain a physician's consent prior to beginning this fitness program, you should continue at your own risk. It is your sole responsibility to participate in exercises that are appropriate for the current status of your health. It is your responsibility to ask your doctor if this activity is appropriate before participating. This program is not medically supervised, and exercise activities are led by independent fitness instructors or employees of Optum Care. Optum Care Network of Arizona is not responsible for the actions or omissions of the instructors or other program participants.
Welcome everyone. For our Pilates class today, we're going to start seated in the chair. And we're just going to start with a little bit of breath work. Okay? In Pilates, our breath is so important to help us kind of find movement and stability, right? So your breath is a tool, not a rule. So to begin, we're sitting towards the edge of your seat. My feet are about hip distance apart. Hands are just resting on my legs. Now, I want you to start kind of tipping your hips forward just a little bit and then back just a little bit, right? So my hips are tilting forward just a bit and back. So when you tip your hips forward, you may feel kind of the pressure shift almost to like your pubic bone, right? And as you shift your hips back, you'll feel it, the weight kind of shift towards your tailbone, right? And as you pass through the middle, you should feel your sits bones, right? Those two kind of bones in the bottoms of your seat. And if you're sitting on a really firm chair like I am, it's pretty easy to feel. So I want you just to find those sits bones, right? And we're just gonna balance there. So maybe if you aren't gonna lose your balance, right? Maybe you close your eyes. Right? I want you just to start taking some nice deep breaths in through the nose. And then nice kind of relaxing exhales through the mouth. Good. As you inhale, imagine your spine lengthening up towards the ceiling. It's like your spine is a string of pearls, right? And you're lifting that string of pearls, right? So you can see the space between all the beads. Every time you exhale, let the shoulders relax away from your ears and maintain that easy length through the spine. Now on your next inhale, I want you to imagine feeling your ribs expand in all directions, like a balloon. And as you exhale, feel the ribs funneling down towards the pelvis, so almost they're getting smaller and funneling in. Good. Inhale, ribs open and expand in all directions. This time as the ribs exhale and funnel down towards the pelvis, you're gonna feel, right, your low belly drawing in and up, almost like you're pulling your belly button to your spine. Good. Inhale, let the ribs open and expand. And this time let your belly expand. So you're feeling your whole torso with that breath. As you exhale, ribs funnel. Good, low belly stays drawn in. Perfect. So we're gonna stay nice and tall with that low belly gently drawn in like you're pulling belly button to your spine. And I want you to grab your little dish towel. Okay, so we're gonna start with a version, or kind of like a modified version of footwork. Okay, so we're gonna start with those feet on your towel, hip distance apart. And now if you're not working on a wood floor or tile with a dish towel, if you're on carpet, maybe you use two paper plates or maybe a piece of paper, anything that can allow your feet to slide easily on the floor. Okay, so Stay balanced on your sits bones, belly button drawing in and up towards the spine. Our spine is lengthened to the ceiling, shoulders relaxed down. All right, I want you to take your hands to the sides of, actually let's go front of the chair. So you're gonna gently press the hands into the front of the chair. You're gonna feel your underarms engage a little bit. It's gonna help you sit nice and tall. So from here, we're gonna exhale, slide the legs out. Make sure you're securely seated on your chair. My toes are gonna come up as my legs press away. And then inhale to slide back in. So as you exhale to slide the legs away, you're gently pressing the heels down and out on the floor. Feel, right, those low abdominals tighten. Good, inhale to come in. So we're using our exhale, right, to provide stability, right, in our spine and in our hips, right, so we're not dumping forward as our legs come back and forth. Good. Right, and now, if you're just sliding the legs easily in and out, right, it's not that much work. But if you think about creating a little bit of work in the muscles, right, around your legs, right, it's a different story. Okay, all right. So now we're gonna go into what we call small Pilates V, or first position. So I'm gonna have my heels together, my knees and my toes are slightly out to the side. Okay, so I'm gonna imagine like I've got a $100 bill between my heels. So I'm gonna gently squeeze my heels together. That's gonna activate my inner thighs and my glutes underneath me, okay? So this time, we're gonna exhale to press out. Now make sure the toes aren't swinging out further than kneecaps. My kneecaps are pointing up this way, toes are going way out to the side. So we want kneecaps and toes to stay in line with one another. Good, inhale in. Right, so as you're keeping that hold of that imaginary $100 bill between the heels, we're gonna feel some inner thighs, right? As you're pressing the heels gently into the floor as you slide in and out, we'll be feeling those glutes as well. And then of course, using that exhale, right, to maintain that stability in our pelvis. So we're just balanced on the sits bones. We're not rocking back and forth. Good, last one here. We're gonna stay out, and I want you to point the toes, right? Your heels might come in a little bit, and then flex. Point and flex. Right, so my heels are sliding a little bit on the floor. Good, last one, and then we come back in. All right, I'm gonna turn my towel at a diagonal so that I can take my feet about shoulder width. All right, so from here, again, sitting tall, all those same cues, right? My knees and my toes again are slightly out to the side. We're gonna press out and in. Nice. Right, so now as you press out this time, right, feel that little squeeze in the quads, right, as the legs straighten. Let's go 2. Nice. And, ooh, last one. Wonderful. We're gonna slide that under your chair. Slide your towel or your paper plates, whatever you have under your chair. So we're gonna keep the feet wide, fingertips cup around the knees. We're gonna do a little cat-cow. So from here, we're gonna tip your pelvis forward, right, towards that pubic bone, right? We're gonna feel that extension in our spine. Our heart reaches out and up. Exhale, roll the pelvis back so you're tipping towards your tailbone. The spine rounds, belly button pulls in and up. Good. Inhale to extend. Really use that exhale to feel those abdominals engaging as they help you find that flexion in your spine. So before, our breath was helping us maintain stability, right, with our footwork, right? And now our breath is helping us find movement, right? So that exhale is facilitating my flexion. Inhale facilitates my extension. We'll come back to neutral. From here, we're gonna go into a little arm series. So I want you to walk your feet back in so you're about shoulder width. All right, we're gonna start with what we call serving or presentation. All right, our palms are gonna be up, our elbows are at 90 degrees. I'm still balanced on my sits bones, my spine is tall, my low belly is engaged, right, by belly button pulling in and up. I'm also gonna think about my upper arm bones is staying back in my shoulder socket. So it gives me that feeling of that wide collarbone, okay? So from here, we're gonna exhale to reach out. Now, as you're reaching out here, feel your abdominals engage, right? Inhale to come in. Right, so I don't want you to round forward and let the spine move, right? Just moving from the shoulder. Right, so we don't even need any weights, right, to feel the work in this. Right, by just using your breath, right, and that intention in your body is enough. We're gonna stay out on this next one. You're gonna turn your palms into another. Elbows are soft, so it looks like I'm holding a beach ball, okay? This is called hug a tree, so imagine maybe you're hugging a tree instead of a beach ball. We're gonna inhale to open, exhale to close. Think about keeping as much kind of reach or expansion in those arms as you can. Feeling the backs of your shoulders, right? The muscles in your chest, the front of your shoulders. Really, we're working in both directions. One more. Wonderful. All right, from here, we're gonna go with the fun term of this. I like to imagine I'm shining my unicorn horn, right? So we're gonna have the elbows out to the side. Now you can stay lower if you need to, right? I'm gonna make this little diamond shape with my hands. And as though it's a unicorn, it's a little horn out my forehead. I'm gonna press the arms away, right? Feeling my triceps and my shoulders. Good. Now think about keeping the space between your, the tops of your shoulders and your ears, right? So not letting the shoulders creep up, right? Shoulders stay down. Good, 2. Lovely, last 1. Perfect. So now we're gonna come back to that kind of presentation position when our arms were extended. We're gonna flip the palms down. Actually, let's go palms in towards one another. And now we're gonna, instead of using our exhale to reach out, we're gonna use our exhale to pull in, right? Inhale, reach out, easy. Exhale, imagine pushing the elbows down and back into resistance behind your elbows, right? We should feel our lats engaging. Collarbone stays wide. Last one like this. Arms are gonna come back out. So now we're gonna go bow and arrow. So walk your feet together. I want you to think about trying to squeeze your knees. Now we've put that $100 bill between the knees, okay? We're gonna pull one elbow back as you were just doing it. We're gonna add a little rotation of the spine, okay? Now when you're here, a lot of the times this hip wants to follow and then my knees come apart and you lose your $100. How sad. Okay, so I want you to keep the knees squeezed together. Almost think about trying to reach this knee forward as that same arm goes back, right? It gives you a little bit of opposition and really focuses the work in those obliques. Well, inhale, come forward, other side. So as you pull the elbow down and back, I stay long through my spine. My knees stay squeezed. I'm almost reaching this knee forward as I pull the elbow back. Find a little reach to that opposite arm as well. Good, all the while, spine stays lengthened up. Go one more to the side and even out here. Very nice. One last one for the arms. So we're coming back to where we started in that kind of presentation position, right? I want you guys to squeeze the armpits in. Your elbows don't have to be squeezed into your sides. I just want the armpits to squeeze in a little bit. Palms up. And now we're gonna do a little external rotation, right? So you're just gonna kind of, almost like you're hitchhiking to the side, right? Or I almost imagine if I'm sitting at a table and I'm just kind of sliding my hands along the underside of a table. Right, collarbone stays wide, right? You should start feeling a little work in the back of your shoulders. Right, this also is really good for your posture and shoulder health. Right, 3, 2, and last one. Beautiful. Okay, we're gonna take your hands to the seat, the sides of your seat. Okay, I'm still towards the edge of my chair. We're gonna do a little thoracic extension. So that means extension in your upper spine. We spend so much of our life like this, right? Driving, texting, typing, eating, reading. So we gotta open that upper spine up a little bit. So I'm gonna grab the sides of my seat. The closer your hands are in line with your hips, the nicer it is. The further back you slide your hands, the deeper the stretch or the more intense exercise, okay? So from here, I want you to sit nice and tall. Think about drawing that belly button in and up, so low belly's engaged, balance on my sits bones. And from here, I'm just gonna almost push my hands into the chair, right? And as I straighten my arms, I'm gonna think about reaching my sternum or my heart up towards the ceiling, right? Back of the neck stays long, so you don't have to drop your head back. Right? That probably wouldn't feel great for a lot of us. Right? And think about shoulders back. So we just felt that opening, right, of the chest and the shoulders as we did our external rotation. Right? So we're just building on that. And my low back is not moving much. My hips aren't really moving much. I'm trying to find that lift just from my thoracic spine, right? It's not a huge move. It's a small move, big feelings. All right, last one. And let's get into a little mermaid. Okay, you have two, well, I'll give you two options. Option one, which is very nice, stable, right? Is just to keep the feet wide, kind of in the second position, gives you a nice base of support. If you would like a little bit more movement, right, you're gonna scooch towards the side of your chair. Now make sure your chair is sturdy enough that you're not gonna tip over, right? If so, just stay in the middle with feet in that second. But if you scoot to the side a little bit, it's almost like I've got one sits bone on, one sits bone off, okay? Now I'm gonna reach this leg out to the side. Now if your leg needs to come forward a little bit, that's fine. If your toes need to go up, that's fine. Okay, whatever works for you. Even though I have one sits bone off, I'm gonna try to keep my hips nice and level, all right? This hand goes on the chair, this arm reaches out to the side. You can always bring this hand to your chest if your shoulder's unhappy, okay? I'm gonna think about pushing this straight leg or that extended leg down and out into the floor, okay? And then I'm gonna use this arm to help support me, right, as I reach up and over. So I'm gently pushing into the chair so I find this lift through the bottom waistline. As I keep that far sits bone hanging off the end of my chair, right, it's gonna give me this nice stretch through the top side. And back up. Right, I'm gently pushing into the chair as I reach up and over. Good, keeping this leg nice and active, rooted into the floor. Good, shoulders stay relaxed out of my ears. Last one, and up, and then we'll switch sides. All right, so again, you can stay here. That is what's working for you today. And the movement would be the same, right? Just using that side of the chair to reach up and over, or here is fine, okay? I'm gonna do it the same so I'm not uneven. All right, again, foot can be a little further forward if that makes this hip happier. Out to the side, toes can be up, whatever you need to do here, okay? One sits bone on, one sits bone off. I'm gonna sit up nice and tall. This hand on the chair, this arm reaches out to the side, right? I'm also reaching this foot down and out into the floor. I'm gonna push into the chair as I bend the elbow to reach up and over. Again, you can be here. Good, and up. As I'm pushing into the chair, I'm feeling that lift through the bottom side, stretch through the top side. Good, shoulders stay relaxed out of my ears. Good, I'm almost thinking about reaching this little pinky away from that foot, pressing into the floor. We got one more on this side. Good, last one, beautiful. And up. I love it, good job. Okay, last one, we're gonna finish with a full body move. If there's something I love more than squats, if you've seen some of our other exercise videos, it would have to be planks. So that's what we're gonna do now. I'm gonna turn my chair. Now, in your planks, the higher your hands are, the nicer it is. The lower the hands go, the more challenging it is. So I would not mind at all if you just find a wall, right? And take your hands shoulder width against the wall or shoulder height against the wall and find your plank here, okay? That's a fantastic place to start. Since I don't want to turn my back to you and use the wall, I'm going to use my chair, right? But just make sure if you're using a chair or anything other than the wall, you're not going to tip it over, okay? So I'm going to take my hands to the chair. I'm going to think about shoulders are over wrists, okay? I'm going to start with my feet right under my hips, and I'm going to think about pulling that belly button in and up, right? I don't want to just let it hang down. Belly button pulls in and up. Spine is as straight as can be, okay? So I'm lengthening the back of the head away from my tailbone. So you may feel enough challenge in your abdominals here, right? Just keeping that belly button pulled in and up, okay? If you want a little bit more challenge, maybe you walk the feet a little further back, right? The further back the feet go, right? The more challenging it gets, right? Maybe some of you may find yourself, right, in this full plank position, right? I want you to think about reaching heels back or heels into the floor if your heels are still on the floor. Good, lengthening the back of the neck, keeping the belly button pulled in and up. Good, let's just hold for 5, 4, pushing the floor or the chair or the counter away from you. Abdominals are working. 2, 1, and walk in. Nice. From here, we're just going to soften the knees, right? We're going to roll all the way up. You can turn to face me. We'll take a nice breath in. Exhale down. And last one. Nice job, you guys. It was so nice to be here with you today. I hope you have a lovely day, and we'll see you soon.